Jessica, and I will be taking you on this journey into history. I have always been fascinated with history, mysteries, and the paranormal, so I decided to create a podcast that encompasses all those things. If you find these things fascinating like me, then please, I encourage you to come along each week to see where history takes us next. Hey, just a quick note. This is part 1 of a 2-part episode of Ancient Secrets and Haunted Journeys about the 7 Gates of Hell. So be sure to check back next week to hear the conclusion. Welcome back to Ancient Secrets and Haunted Journeys, your go-to podcast for unraveling the mysteries, legends, and phenomena that have fascinated humanity for generations. Today, we're taking a detour from the high seas and ancient landscapes to venture into the heart of rural America. Buckle up, because we're heading to Pennsylvania to explore a legend that has both terrified and intrigued people for decades: the 7 Gates of Hell. Nestled within the rolling hills and dense forests of Pennsylvania lies a tale so unsettling it has given birth to countless stories, investigations, and even pilgrimages. According to local legend, hidden deep within these woods are 7 gates, each leading you closer to the very depths of hell itself. But what is the origin of this terrifying myth? Is it a mere urban legend, a piece of folklore, or could there be a kernel of truth hidden within these tales? That's precisely the mystery we'll be exploring in this episode. As we navigate through this labyrinth of mystery, we'll delve deep into the history of this eerie legend. We'll explore the accounts of those who claim to have ventured near these gates and lived to tell the tale. From chilling encounters to inexplicable phenomena, we'll sift through the accounts that have surfaced over the years. But the 7 Gates of Hell is not just a local legend. It's a cultural phenomenon that has inspired books, documentaries, and even horror films. We'll examine how this tale has permeated various aspects of American culture, from literature to the arts, and why it continues to captivate the public's imagination. We'll also scrutinize the various theories that attempt to explain this phenomenon, from the skeptical perspectives that dismiss it as a mere superstition to more speculative theories involving occult practices and parallel dimensions. We'll leave no stone unturned. So, whether you're a skeptic looking for rational explanations or a thrill seeker eager to explore the boundaries of the unknown, this episode promises to be a riveting journey into one of America's most haunting legends. So, prepare yourselves for a journey that promises to be as enlightening as it is terrifying. Whether you're a seasoned investigator of the paranormal or simply curious about the mysteries that lie beyond the veil of the known, this episode is sure to keep you on the edge of your seat. Get ready to unlock the mysteries of the 7 Gates of Hell in Pennsylvania. To truly understand the legend of the 7 Gates of Hell, we must first transport ourselves to the setting where this eerie tale takes root: the rural landscapes of Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, one of the original 13 colonies, is a state steeped in history and folklore. From the Liberty Bell in Philadelphia to the battlefields of Gettysburg, the state is a tapestry of stories that span the gamut from the birth of a nation to tales of the supernatural. The legend of the 7 Gates of Hell is said to originate in York County, specifically in the vicinity of the small town of Hellam. The town itself, founded in the 18th century, is an unassuming place, home to a population that barely scratches the surface of 3,000 residents. It's a community where everyone knows each other, where local businesses line the main street, and where children play in yards under the watchful eyes of their parents. At first glance, Helen seems like any other small American town, quaint, peaceful, and far removed from the hustle and bustle of city life. But beneath this idyllic facade lies a tale that has haunted the community for generations. The legend is so deeply ingrained in the local culture that it's almost impossible to find a resident who hasn't heard whispers about the 7 gates. The gates are said to be located deep within the forests that surround the town, a labyrinthine expanse of towering trees, winding trails, and hidden glades. These forests have been the backdrop for countless childhood adventures, romantic escapades, and unfortunately, the setting for our unsettling legend. The exact location of the 7 gates is a subject of much debate and speculation. Some say they are situated near Toad Road, an unpaved, isolated path that meanders through the dense woodland. Others claim the gates are scattered throughout the forest, requiring a perilous journey through treacherous terrain to locate them all. What is agreed upon, however, is that these gates are no ordinary structures. They are said to be wrought iron constructs, rusted with age and covered in overgrown vines and foliage, almost as if nature itself is attempting to reclaim them. The atmosphere around these supposed locations is often described as unnerving, even during daylight hours. The air grows thick, the sounds of the forest fade away, and a sense of unease permeates the surroundings. Many locals will tell you that animals seem to avoid these areas, as if sensing something unnatural. Birds don't sing, and even insects seem to steer clear, creating an unsettling silence that amplifies the sense of isolation. But what makes these gates the subject of such fascination and fear? According to the legend, passing through these gates in a specific sequence at night will lead you closer and closer to hell itself. Each gate is said to present its own set of challenges and phenomena, from inexplicable temperature drops to ghostly apparitions. The final gate, the 7th gate, is said to be a portal to hell, and those who dare to pass through it are never seen or heard from again. The legend has been the subject of numerous investigations, both amateur and professional. Paranormal researchers have ventured into the forest armed with an array of equipment, from EMF meters to infrared cameras, in an attempt to capture evidence. While no definitive proof has ever been found, many have reported experiencing unexplained phenomena, from disembodied voices to sudden equipment malfunctions. On the other hand, local authorities have often downplayed the legend, attributing it to urban myths and the overactive imaginations of thrill seekers. They point out that the forest is private property and discourage unauthorized excursions, citing safety concerns. Despite this, the legend persists, fueled by first-hand accounts, local lore, and the innate human curiosity about the unknown. As we delve deeper into this episode, we'll explore the various facets of this enduring legend, from its origins and eyewitness accounts to its cultural impact and the theories that attempt to explain it. But for now, let the dense forests of Pelham, Pennsylvania, serve as the backdrop for our journey into the unknown. A journey that promises to be as unsettling as it is enlightening. The legend of the 7 gates of hell is as mysterious as it is haunting, and its origins are shrouded in a mix of fact, fiction, and local folklore. To understand how this tale came to captivate the imagination of residents and outsiders alike, we must first explore its various threads that have contributed to its tapestry. One of the earliest mentions of the 7 gates can be traced back to the late 19th and early 20th centuries, a time when Pelham and its surrounding areas were undergoing significant changes. The Industrial Revolution had brought about a new era of prosperity, but it also gave a rise to urban legends and folklore, often as a way to make sense of a rapidly changing world. During this period, stories of haunted forests, restless spirits, and supernatural phenomena were not uncommon. serving both as cautionary tales and as a form of entertainment. The Seven Gates legend, however, stands out for its complexity and the specificity of its details. The gates themselves are said to have been initially erected as part of an estate owned by a reclusive and eccentric millionaire. According to some versions of the story, the gates were constructed to deter trespassers from venturing onto the property. Others suggest a more sinister purpose, that the gates were part of an elaborate occult ritual designed to open a portal to another realm. As with many legends, the story of the Seven Gates has evolved over time, incorporating elements from various cultural and historical contexts. One popular version ties the gates to the area's Native American heritage, suggesting that the land was considered sacred and that the gates were erected as a form of desecration. This version often includes accounts of Native American spirits seen wandering near the gates, as if guarding them from intruders. Another layer added to the legend involves the tragic events that are said to have occurred near the gates. Stories of missing persons, unexplained deaths, and even ritualistic sacrifices have been woven into the narrative, each adding a layer of credibility and incredibility, depending on your perspective, to the tale. These accounts often serve as the basis for the various challenges and phenomena said to be experienced when passing through the gates, from ghostly apparitions to sudden temperature drops. The legend has also been influenced by religious beliefs, particularly those related to the concept of hell and the afterlife. The idea that passing through the gates could lead one closer to hell itself taps into deep-seated fears and curiosities about what lies beyond the veil of death. This religious undertone adds a moral dimension to the legend, serving as both a warning and a challenge to those who dare to venture near the gates. Despite its murky origins, the legend of the Seven Gates has been the subject of numerous investigations and scholarly articles. Folklorists have examined its roots in local culture, while paranormal researchers have conducted field studies in an attempt to validate the accounts of supernatural phenomena. Even skeptics have weighed in, offering rational explanations that range from mass hysteria to the power of suggestion. Local authorities and historians have often been at odds with the legend, pointing out inconsistencies and factual inaccuracies in the various accounts. For example, there is no historical evidence to support the existence of a reclusive millionaire or an estate surrounded by seven gates. Similarly, local archives contain no records of the tragic events often cited in the legend, leading many to dismiss it as pure fabrication. Yet, the legend persists, fueled by a combination of first-hand accounts, anecdotal evidence, and the enduring allure of the unknown. Whether it's a group of thrill-seeking teenagers venturing into the forest on a dare, or a seasoned paranormal investigator conducting a methodical study, the Seven Gates continue to draw people from all walks of life, each hoping to unlock its mysteries. As we proceed through this episode, we'll delve deeper into the various facets of this mysterious legend, examining it through the lens of history, culture, and human psychology. But for now, let the origins of the Seven Gates serve as a foundation for our exploration, a starting point in our quest to separate fact from fiction, reality from myth. Gate number 1, the Welcome Gate. The first gate is often described as the most accessible and least intimidating of the seven. Located near an unpaved path known as Toad Road, this gate serves as the entry point into the world of the legend. It's a wrought iron structure rusted with age and adorned with overgrown vines that seem to cling to it like desperate hands. Those who have ventured this far report a sudden drop in temperature upon passing through, as if stepping into another realm. Gate number 2, the Whispering Gate. The second gate is said to be located deeper into the forest, requiring a trek through dense foliage and uneven terrain. Unlike the first gate, this one is often described as emitting soft, whisper-like sounds that are barely audible but unmistakably present. Some claim to have heard their names being called, while others report hearing unintelligible murmurs that send shivers down their spine. Gate number 3, the Shadow Gate. The third gate is where the journey takes a darker turn, both literally and metaphorically. This gate is said to be located in an area where the forest canopy is so thick that it blocks out most natural light, even during the day. Those who have passed through this gate report seeing shadowy figures darting between the trees, always just out of focus, adding a palpable sense of dread to the experience. Gate number 4, the Time Warp Gate. The fourth gate introduces an element of temporal disorientation. According to accounts, passing through this gate results in a distortion of time. Watches stop working, cell phones lose signal, and travelers often report losing track of time entirely, as if entering a time warp. Some have even claimed to have experienced brief flashes of the eras, from historical to futuristic scenes, though these accounts are often met with skepticism. Gate number 5, the Elemental Gate. The fifth gate is where the natural elements come into play. Situated near a small creek, this gate is said to be surrounded by an aura of elemental energy. Travelers report sudden changes in weather conditions, from unexplained gusts of wind to brief but intense downpours, as if the elements themselves are trying to deter them from proceeding. Gate number 6, the Gate of Despair. The sixth gate is often described as the most emotionally draining of the 7. Those who pass through it report a feeling of an overwhelming sense of despair and hopelessness, as if being consumed by an invisible force. Some have even reported hearing faint cries and wails, though the source is never identifiable. Gate number 7, the Final Gate. The 7th and final gate is the most mysterious and feared of them all. According to the legend, this gate serves as a portal to hell itself, and those who dare to pass through it are never seen or heard from again. This gate is said to be guarded by malevolent entities, and the air around it is thick, with an almost palpable sense of malevolence. While no concrete evidence exists to validate the existence of these gates, the accounts are remarkably consistent across different sources. Paranormal investigators who have ventured into the forest in search of the gates have often returned with inconclusive results, their equipment plagued by unexplained malfunctions and their footage marred by inexplicable anomalies. Despite the lack of definitive proof, the legend of the 7 gates continues to captivate the public's imagination. Whether they are real physical locations, metaphors for an inner journey, or mere figments of collective folklore, the gates serve as a compelling focal point for our deepest fears and curiosities about the unknown. As we continue to explore this legend in the coming sections, we'll examine the first-hand accounts, scientific inquiries, and cultural impact that have contributed to the enduring allure of the 7 gates of hell. The legend of the 7 gates of hell would be nothing more than a tale told around campfires were it not for the numerous eyewitness accounts and personal experiences that lend it an air of unsettling credibility. These accounts come from a diverse range of individuals, from local residents to paranormal investigators, each with their own unique experiences and interpretations. For those who live in and around Helm, the Seven Gates are more than just a legend. They are a part of local lore that has been passed down through generations. Many residents claim to have ventured near the gates, either out of curiosity or as part of a local rite of passage. While most return with nothing more than a sense of unease, some recount experiences that are genuinely chilling. One such account comes from a local man who claims to have heard disembodied whispers while passing through the second gate. According to his testimony, the whispers grew louder and more insistent as he approached the third gate, culminating in a cacophony of voices that seemed to emanate from the very trees themselves. Shaken, he turned back, vowing never to return. The Seven Gates have also attracted the attention of paranormal investigators, many who have conducted overnight expeditions in an attempt to capture evidence of supernatural activity. While these investigations have yielded mixed results, some have reported phenomena that defy easy explanation. One team of investigators, armed with electromagnetic field meters and infrared cameras, claim to have recorded unexplained temperature drops near the fifth gate, as well as anomalous EMF readings that spiked dramatically as they approached the seventh gate. Though skeptics argue that these could be attributed to natural causes, the investigators insist that the readings were unlike anything they had encountered in previous investigations. The legend of the Seven Gates has also drawn thrill seekers and adventurers, many of whom venture into the forest in search of a supernatural experience. While most return with nothing more than eerie stories and a sense of disappointment, a few claim to have had encounters that have left them profoundly shaken. One such account comes from a group of college students who decided to explore the gates as part of a dare. According to their testimony, they experienced a series of escalating phenomena as they passed through each gate, from shadowy figures that seemed to flit between the trees to an overwhelming sense of despair that engulfed them as they approached the sixth gate. Despite their initial skepticism, the experience left them convinced that there was more to the legend than mere folklore. Hey, thanks for listening to this episode of Ancient Secrets and Haunted Journeys. Don't forget to check back next week to hear the final part of this episode on the Seven Gates of Hell. Please remember to follow, like, and share these episodes and the podcast with your friends and family. I really do appreciate the support. Thanks.